secondhand coat. I want a yacht, not a cheap little boat. I tell my daddy not to be depressed. All I need for happiness is the best. I want a diamond, nothing else has appeal. And when it comes to men, you know how I feel. I want a real man. Give me a real man, you know what I mean. I want a real man. Oh, real man, you're what I need.
All right. Hey, Dwayner. What's up, buddy? You all set? You ready to go today? Let's go. Hot Wheels pants. You ready? Hey, welcome to Real Men. I'm Tim Steeves. This is the show where men get real. But really. We have a great panel here to discuss the topics of the day. Let's get them introduced. Ted Dykstra dropped in.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Ted. How are you, man?
I'm so good it hurts.
Right on. Laurie Elliott is here with her Hot Wheels pants on. I'm excited. Also, Chuck Byrn dropped in. Good to see you, Chucky.
I
You've
forgot
got
my
pants on. That's good
fancy
enough.
pants.
And also, the effervescent Dwayne Hill is in the house today. Good to see you, Dwayne.
How you doing?
And let's get it kicked off, actually, with a commentary by Dwayne Hill. Oh, Dwayne.
Sperm Banks. Sperm Banks. I've never been to one, ever. Worked at a sperm ranch once, but that was back in the 80s. Different concept. Mostly widowers and very, very wealthy men. The thing about sperm banks is that women actually put their faith in some form that a guy's filled out, and let's face it, you probably lied on it. I mean, I've lied on everything I've ever written down. I mean, you lie your driver's license, you lie about your height, you lie about everything. And they got to rely on that. And not only that, but who knows if maybe the labels get switched at the sperm bank at the Sperm Bank Company Christmas party. There's a good time, the Sperm Bank Company Christmas party, huh? Chug, 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 chug. Next day you show up at work. Wow, Phil, you got a bad headache? Yeah, but my skin looks great. So sperm bank, evolution of the species, or just a great way for guys to get paid to masturbate in a public building? What do you think, Tim?
Well, I love the way you always think of science first when you're doing a commentary, Dwayne. When it comes to Dwayner, he's going to hit you with the hard facts, a lot of statistics and stuff. I like that. Well, let's get this kicked off. What about it, Ted? You sell the seed? What do you think?
I'm all for getting paid to masturbate, but I'm not so sure about the actual giving the sperm away to someone to have a child that would be half biologically mine. I think it's immoral and wrong. How's that for an
there we
opener?
go.
Immoral and
Right off the
wrong.
bat. What do you think, Chuck?
Well, you know, once again, I agree with Ted on the masturbation part. Big fan. Always been a big fan.
You're
Been
the
a big
one
fan
who
for a
paid
long
you?
time. I've been thinking about writing a book. But, you know, sperm banks, you know, if you can't, so many people want to have kids. If you want to have kids, God bless you. And if you can't have kids, yeah, I mean, technology will help you out. I mean, there's sperm banks, there's in vitro, there's test tube baby. They got everything going on.
Laurie, if you wanted to have a baby, you were having a problem, would you go this route at all?
I would totally go that route. But what I would do is I would not say anything about, you know, what kind of kid I want, whether it's the height, because apparently most women, you know, want height. That's their first criteria. I wouldn't even want to know what gender it was, what race it was, nothing, because it's a crapshoot when you have a kid to begin with. It could be born with Down syndrome. You never know.
Do you find that
It doesn't
shocking
matter.
that the height
But
is
it
the
is
most
and it isn't.
important?
I mean, there
Oh, I
is.
can't believe that.
Generally speaking, most people know what color the baby's going to be.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they do. Not in all relationships.
Exactly.
but-
If you're going for height, I mean, who knows? You're not getting some like giant Romanian. I am little.
Well,
My prostate is better.
why do you have to go? Why do you have to go to a sperm bank? Why don't you just go and screw some guy? Like what?
Because
What
I
if-
don't wanna
what
have
if the
sex
guy
with
you're-
a
what if the
I
guy
don't
you're
know?
screwing
He could be a
shooting
complete
blanks?
jerk.
Well, if your guy's shooting complete blanks then, and you guys
Yeah.
want to have a baby together, you don't think your guy's going to have a problem with that? You don't think your guy's going to have a problem not knowing who the father of this baby is?
No, I don't think so at
Well, he
all,
knows
because
that-
I would consult
I think
him,
the
and I
kid
think
is
he would
going
have
to grow up
approved me going to a
screwed.
sperm
I think
bank
the
to
kid's
begin
going to
with.
grow up all screwed up in the
As
head.
opposed to regular
As
kids
opposed
who
to
don't
regular
grow up
kids.
screwed up.
Kids today are doing really well.
I think it'd be
Kids
cool.
today
How
are
are you
great.
going to grow up being
really
screwed
well.
in the head?
Because
though?
you want to know who your father is. You
Yeah.
do.
Your father's the guy
You
who's
wanna know.
there.
I know who
So
my
what
And
do
then
father
you
do
go
with
to
all
your
the kids
you go
who
to your
don't have
mother, you go to your
parents?
mother
Do
and
we
you
just
say,
leave
so
them in
you
an
just went to a
orphanage?
bank and you just picked up and you didn't care
Well,
about
that's a good
anything?
question. Let's ask that question. Should you know who the father is if you go to the sperm bank?
No.
I know who my father is, and I got to tell you.
You don't wanna
The only reason I don't hang around with him is because he reminds me too much of me. Let's face it. My adopted
be
father would be
annoying.
completely different. Be like, wow, where'd you get this recipe? It's a family recipe. Well, I'm glad to be part of this family. It's fantastic. Mom, thanks for not swallowing.
I think
Laurie,
second-
why wouldn't you want to know who the father is, ignoring that lost comment by
I wouldn't
Dwayne?
want to know who the father is because technically the father is going to be the man I'm with. That is
Yeah.
first and foremost. That is going to be the father.
But your child won't think that. Your child will want to know who the biological father is. The
Well,
child, when he's 17, 18, he's gonna, he is.
If they're a
But
busy,
that's like
if
saying,
it's
you know,
a
you
busybody.
shouldn't adopt children because at some point they're going to wonder who the real parents are.
That doesn't mean you shouldn't adopt children. Those children are already here.
There's a
You
black
should-
kid sitting in a giant
that
white family
sperm is
gathering
already
going,
there.
I've got questions. I've got very
I have
interesting
issues.
questions.
It's
Yeah,
the jerk.
I've
Wasn't that the
issues.
jerk?
I don't think it's
The
a
other
big
way
deal
around?
if
I'm not black.
I don't think it's a big deal. If,
I don't think
you
it's a
say
big
it's,
deal
an,
at all.
it's,
I
a,
know a
it's
lot
an
of people who
impossibility
were
that you'll
adopted
ever
and
find out
they
who your
spend a
father
good
is.
5 years looking for
But the,
the,
that's,
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
adoption issue is a whole different thing. I mean, let's
yes, it
face
is. I agree.
mean, if you want to take a Dwayne's opinion on adoption, I mean, let's face it. It's two people making a huge mistake and going, let's get rid of this mistake. And they probably were kind of morons to begin with. It's not like
Exactly.
Albert
But-
Schweitzer
so-
had an illegitimate child and said, I'm giving this one up. And
how
all of a sudden
much
the
would
kid's
you
like
want? How
doing
much
physics.
would you want to donate? How much do they pay? I'd like to know how much.
It's $45. Actually, went on a website. It was from $1 to $45
per shot?
I do it for free.
Per shot?
Do it for free,
It goes
really.
up too. I think one of the
Goes
sick
up.
I do it for
things
free.
that-
Did it
yeah,
free
it
this
goes
morning.
So how
up
much
to
do you
like
think you could make in one
$170.
day?
170?
Yeah, $170, but you only get to do it 24 times though.
In one
and I have
day?
a feeling you guys all
24 times,
Dwayne,
yeah.
what's your-
What do you want me to do all afternoon?
Refractory time, or however you say
Well,
it.
I think it
What's
takes.
your
I think
downtime?
My downtime.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on how young she is. You know.
No, there's nobody there.
So no
There's
time.
nobody
Good, the
there.
videotape
Is the air
No,
conditioner on the
Actually,
blink?
you can use stimuli. I'm sure
I'll need
you
your
can.
nurse
yeah,
to
yeah,
tally
yeah,
fight with
yeah.
me
Okay,
for
I
20 minutes,
could use a-
and then I think I should be ready to go again. Well, that's the thing, actually. You actually
Ted,
request.
hold on. When you go into the Sperm Bank, do they give you a magazine or whatever you
They
need?
should.
I
They
think
bet.
they
I'm
do.
sure they
Yeah.
do.
They bring your own.
You
You
actually
can't just
pick-
rely on the fantasy train walking down
you
the
pick
track.
your own. It's like, son, I'll never forget the day I
thing
I
is-
donated. I was reading Jugs, and I delivered to the editor. And if I can remember the quote exactly, it was called Lesbian
I
No
think
More.
one guy brought a hooker in, then he realized he was paying her more than he was making. And so it
Okay,
went downhill from
What
there.
about this? This is something that I've been thinking about, is where you have these people who can go through catalogs and select someone who has a higher intelligence factor,
10 seconds.
better physicality, all that kind of stuff. I don't think that that's right.
Okay, Laura, sorry, we got to break this up, and that's all we have right now. But watch for Chuck's book on masturbation at a local store. We're coming right back. Masturbation would be a handbook. Hey, welcome back to Real Men. Thanks for joining us. This segment, we are joined by a very special guest. Enza Supermodel is here. Hey, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, we look forward to this conversation. This is going to be fun. But first, let's get it kicked off with a commentary by Ted Dykstra. Go ahead, Teddy.
Hey, how are you? We're going to talk about misogyny in this segment, and I'd like to share a little story with you. A couple of weeks ago, I was at a very intimate backyard party at which a young friend of mine greeted every female who came into the party with this line: "Hi, how are you? You have a really kind chin." And the guest would invariably sort of be puzzled and say, "What do you mean kind?" And he'd say, "The kind I'd like to see my balls slapping up against." And the women were sort of in turn startled, and some of them laughed, and some of them looked for his parents and wondered what he was doing at the party. And one in particular proclaimed him to be a misogynist. Now, I know this fellow, and he had a little too much to drink, but I know he doesn't hate women. The definition of misogyny is the hatred of women. I know he doesn't hate women, so we got into an argument, and she started talking about other things that, in her view, were the fruits of misogyny, like the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue, spanking, S&M, teenage prostitutes in Holland, and I started to get really horny. And it made me wonder why something that makes men horny would be confused with hatred of women. Misogyny, today on Real Men. Back to you.
Thanks, Ted. Nicely done. Ted setting the table for this segment. And we're joined by our special guest, Enza. So let's kick it off with Enza Supermodel. What did you think of that?
Thank you, Ted. I think your friend is sick, and he should come and see me, teach him a lesson.
Which one? The balls guy, you mean?
Yeah, you know, we switch the role playing a little bit and let him know how it feels to be on the other side.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Chuck, what do you think, man?
I'd had 6 beers. It was at a barbecue. I figured it was a festive season. I don't
wasn't
know.
gonna blow your
What-
cover.
Thought it was a good gag.
what amazes me is that if you're a man who hates women, you're a misogynist. If you're a woman who hates men, you're a woman.
No, that's misandry, I think
Oh,
that's called.
that's some word they made up.
My research here says misandry.
Yeah, but that's a word that they made up just,
yeah, they made that up to fill a
do
hole.
it.
Misandry was my teacher.
Laurie, get us started here, man.
Well, I think there's a big difference between being drunk and saying something like that and applying the term misogynist to it. Like, misogynists are people like Mark Lepine, who was responsible for the Montreal Massacre. He specifically wrote a note saying, I hate these women, I hate the feminists, shot 14 women. Like, that is a misogynist. He did it because he hates women, because he felt one took his job and stuff like that. What's happening in Afghanistan is a huge example of misogyny, you know, under a veil, excuse the pun, of religion. Like,
those are some serious examples, I would
Yes.
say. Dwayne, I bet you have less serious examples. I got a feeling.
No, I mean, one person's misogyny, another person's, you brute. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, if you think Sports Illustrated is misogyny, let's face it. You fly down, 18-year-old girls who didn't complete high school, you give them $10,000 a day, enough coke to ski in, and, you
I had a feeling,
they
less
stay in the
serious
Bahamas for
example.
72 hours, and they fly back. It's like, you're the best. Thanks. Can I get a dozen eggs and a bottle of Jack Daniels? Thanks.
But how can you say that is misogyny anyway? But men are appreciating women and their physical beauty and
Amen,
all that
Laurie,
kind of stuff. It
amen.
might be chauvinistic, it might
But
be
you know what I mean?
objectifying
That's
women.
what Playboy
but-
magazine is to a lot of people from the male perspective, but from the female perspective, these women are being abused.
Right.
These women are being,
Invariably, the
But
women
they have to be
and the
made
women
to be successful.
The women who are saying that would never be in the magazine because
Well,
they're
it's 'cause
not
they're
good
ugly.
looking enough.
Let's hear
exactly.
from our guest. Let's hear from our guest here.
I think that there's a line between a hatred of women and sort of putting women down. You have to sort of draw a line at to what point. And being drunk is no excuse. That's a low
You're a
excuse.
Puritan.
We've all had a couple of pops. I mean,
Because
that's no excuse. I
you're
agree.
grown up. You have to you're growing up to either appreciate women or maybe hate is the wrong word, but not appreciate women. And there's some men who treat their wives or their girlfriends like garbage, and that is not good,
Ted,
But
sorry to jump in. Ted, don't you think your friend at the party was coming from a place of insecurity as well?
I wouldn't describe him as insecure. Chuck, you're not that insecure, are you?
that's why men do that.
They were nice chins. Come on.
The thing about what he says, the thing about what the guy said at the party is the fact that you can complain as much as you want about it, and 90% of women will be disgusted, but 10% might go, "Oh, you rogue.
You rogue, I'll see
Let's
you later."
go. Get the
Absolutely.
heck out of here."
Yeah.
For every guy that's nice to women,
Let me
there's,
add, he got laid that night.
Exactly.
there you go.
He had a
Good for
thriesome.
And I wasn't there.
Right.
I thought it was
That's
you that-
it.
Enza, here's a question. If you're a victim of this sort of stuff, do you consider it misogyny or homophobia?
I think it would be more of homophobia, but then it would sort of lead into another kind of hatred, right? I know that a lot of straight guys that once, they see this beautiful woman, and once they find out that I'm a guy, it's like they're so insecure, they become so insecure, and they start portraying this masculinity, right? So they
For
become
sure.
this really tough guy, and they have to prove that they're macho. Hey, don't do that in front of me because it
Do you
doesn't
mean that
work,
some guy
right?
catches
So-
you from behind and thinks, hey, nice caboose on this one, and then comes around and goes, oh, hello, dude looks like a lady.
That's
You know,
exactly
a lot
what
of
happened to
dude
Chuck.
looks like a lady.
A lot of them, I'm walking down the street and some, hey, babe,
Yeah.
how about getting together?
Sorry,
tonight?"
Enzo,
And I-
that's all the time we have. We're going to
Oh,
come right back. I know you
okay.
can't do misogyny in 5 minutes or less, but we tried to. We're going to come right back.
It's damn hard to date, isn't it?
That's good. That's great.
It is so hard.
Yeah?
God. Well, especially, in my instance, I'm a new divorcee.
Okay.
And I've been married a long time, and it's really hard.
You getting back in?
You're getting the real nuts. I'm not giving you the big.
Nice.
It's really hard.
Hey, welcome back to Real Men. We kept Enza, supermodel, here for the next segment. We're not going to let her go just yet. So, high-tech dating, alternative dating, where to meet people. We're talking this segment. Dwayne, have you ever gone on an alternative date of any kind?
Alternative Satanist. No, I've alternative
Internet or anything?
One time I did I found those chat lines once. pick up the phone, call me. I could be naked
Oh
now.
my God, it was you.
That was me, Enza. Enza, describe yourself. Is there a penis involved? Well, I've got one too, so that's not going to work.
I don't give my real name, though.
I know. You were Enzaloni. Now, the weird thing about it was basically they said there's 9 guys in the line and 1 girl. And basically it was a bunch of guys yelling their phone number to the girls, going, give me a call, 577-9992. Give me a call, please. And you hang up the phone, and basically at 4 in the morning, you get this call from a girl who's like, I've been phoning guys all night. I just call and talk to them, and I see what, it's like, oh, hey, I'm a jet pilot. I'm here on leave. You're trying to lie because you realize she's going to hang up on you and go to the next guy if you don't. So it was kind of
that's not a
pathetic.
matter of meet. Are you ever going to meet anybody with that? That's just on the phone service?
Well, I mean, fortunately, I work in an industry that's crawling with, people that have insecurities. So dating is not that tough. But I can see, like, if you were like, an accountant or like, some sort of a scientician, that you would be like, I'm looking for a spouse or a mate. You want to find somebody that you really click with, as opposed to somebody who's drunk at a bar and thinks you're attractive because they've been wolfing down lemon gin.
Well, let's get around the panel. Ted, you've been a married guy for a while.
I'm so out of the scene.
This internet stuff wasn't around when you were
Don't even
single?
know what's the internet. What's that?
Somebody wake Grampy and tell him what the online thing
I think
is.
the internet's a good way to avoid the fix-up for a lot of people. Because a lot of people, the fix-up's the ultimate, because not only do you know you're a loser, but your friends have realized you're a loser, and they're going out looking for people that are willing to put up with you because you're such a loser. But the internet, everyone's kind of come to the conclusion, I can't meet anybody,
So what kind of people
on
are
the
those to
street.
start with?
Sick.
Well, they're like-minded people.
In real life,
They're
I can't
like-minded
get
people.
anyone to go out with me, so I'm going
It's
to
not
go
a question of
on.
I can't get anybody. I might be scared to ask somebody out. But on the
Okay.
internet, I'm a jet pilot.
Yeah, but you're not.
Yeah, but
are you?
And neither are they. 5'4", 105
So when the
pounds,
two of you
nymphomaniac.
actually meet,
Without
what
a penis.
happens? What happens when, like, you go, I'll be sitting in the corner and she comes in and she goes, oh my God, and you look at her and then it's
Yeah,
like
how is that
so.
different from
I can
any
tell
other
you
setup
didn't
you
date
have?
a lot before you got married.
Hold on,
I
Enza.
knew the people I dated.
Enza, have you ever,
perverts.
have you ever gone on a blind
You're a
date, Enza?
Republican, Enza. You're a surprising drag
Well,
queen.
my blind dates sort of come by the street, when I'm walking from the bar to home.
And they're
Those are-
actually blind.
Well, they can't see what I have between my legs, right? But
God
people,
bless the duct tape.
but people off the internet, when they meet, that's sick, because
What's so sick
I
about
think we
it?
can draw the line short of sick, Enza.
I think it's dangerous.
okay,
Come on
they're
now.
perverts.
Hey, Laurie, get in here, Laurie. Do you think it's dangerous?
Because
Because there's plenty of people. If you look at I've gone on and gone browsing through the classified ads. If you look at some of them,
People on the
they're
internet lie.
They're like devoted Catholic, non-drinker, non-smoker, seeking person who likes cats, religion, and commitment.
Okay, let's get the. Hold on. Let's get the
lie.
female.
Lie.
Whoa.
Vagina.
Whoa! Let's get the
Okay.
female. Let's get
Okay.
the female perspective in here, and I mean Laurie when I say that.
I think that I don't see a problem with the whole internet dating thing and stuff like that. I think that's fine if you work in a job, especially
Or if
now
you're a
with workaholics,
scientist.
you're working 14 hours a day, blah blah blah. But I think it's dangerous when you get into the long distance things, and you write different than the way you speak. And I think that you have to, and there's something to be said about meeting somebody face to face and looking at their mannerisms and seeing actually whether the person's lied or not about their looks and stuff. But I think that you can't just all of a sudden decide you're going to marry somebody, which is sick, from
And they
not
end up
meeting
being
them
Dwayne.
just through a written
Dwayne shows up.
correspondence.
Could you ever be that lucky?
Because writing is much more intimate than talking. People are usually a lot more willing to open themselves up if it's not face to face.
They can open themselves up, but they can also lie
They
a
can just
lot. They
make
have
up
time
stuff.
to think about. Oh no, that didn't sound good. La 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 la. Click.
And
click.
if
but you
Enza-
always
Enza,
have
would
the
you ever
option.
misrepresent yourself online?
never. I never have.
Would you open right up with,
Aren't you
dear
technically
so-and-so, I've got a
misrepresenting
penis?
yourself right now?
No, I'm telling people the truth. I love wearing dresses, And when I tell them I love wearing pantyhose and heels, oh my God, you see the calls,
We only have a few seconds left, so take us out on that thought.
It's hard to choose.
Okay, you're sick.
Oh.
Well, if everybody on the internet is sick,
I think
That's all the-
Chucky
that's all-
likes
speak for
her.
the internet people.
That's all
right.
the time we have for this segment.
Chucky's in love.
Don't go away. We've got a couple of minutes
love.
left. Stay with us on Real Men. Thanks, Enza. Nice insight.
Tell you this one time I went out on a blind date and this girl, everyone's got their passion, what have you, but and to each their own, but this girl, all she could do was tell me about her bagpipes. Man, the first blind date I ever had, bagpipes and her collection of cow paraphernalia. So, I mean, hey,
Scary, man.
who's kidding who here? One of us needs a blind date, one of us doesn't.
Welcome back. We've had a nice show today. We've been talking misogyny, sperm banks, high-tech dating. We're all over the board. And it's been fun. Laurie, final thoughts? We got a couple of minutes left.
I think my final thought will be on the whole misogyny topic, because misogyny, by definition, is men who hate women, not men who like women's bodies and don't care about their minds. So I think that if any of you guys are called a misogynist in your future, you should take that as a huge insult, because you're not, right?
Thank you, Laurie.
Nice work, Laura. Chuck, anything to get out on?
Well, I just figured, after your trip to the sperm bank and your 4 hours of searching the internet for a date, it's no wonder most people hate women. I mean, and there's just no wonder. If they make it easier, maybe we won't hate you
And as far as dating goes, let's face it. You just look in the ads. There's types for guys, there's types for women. A women's ad would say non-smokers, seek same. A guy's ad says 9 inches uncut.
Ted?
Well, I've learned very little today about any of the topics, but I did get the idea of opening a sperm bank on the internet for misogynists. So I'm going to try and do that.
Right.
Good for you.
All right.
I want the show to be positive.
Yeah.
But who's going to have the babies?
You know what? All your comments are great, but one thing I must say, Dwayne, you're simply gorgeous. I just want to sit on your.
Here we go.
Give you a nice kiss.
Now we're going.
There
Sure.
he is.
Hands in, Dwayne. Stick in
Yeah.
the tree.
How's that,
Next
Dwayne?
episode.
Now, Dwayne, does that feel natural?
Well, I've dated bigger.
Have you dated stronger?
And he's got gorgeous hair. You know?
Thank you. You can't tell where the
He's got the
plug's
Tyrone Power hair thing going today.
No.
That's oh man. Okay, enough of this craziness today on Real Men. We're out of control. I think Dwayne and Enza are going to have to go be alone. I'm not sure about their little love connection today,
you like
but
ponies?
tune in next time.
yeah.
Thanks a lot for coming by, Real Men.
Somebody get a hose.
Unbelievable.
One time. Wow. In the war.
I don't sanction any of
My
it.
unit was trapped.
I gotta compare my feet.
You're responsible for what's going on here today.
I feel better. My pants are getting tighter. What are you Cut this out, man. The buffet's open all afternoon.
Get a shot of that. Better lips than you.